Hello, welcome to Anime Mystics. I'm Roman, and tonight I am watching Kaguya-Sama Love is War, Episode 10. Give me 1 minute. Should work. It didn't seem to help that much. Anyway. So last episode, everything actually kind of tied in together. It was just one long story. So I'm actually going to be able to talk about it. So it started off with Kaguya and the president, I still can't remember his name, in the club room, along with Chika. And it's raining. That's like storming. There's a thunderstorm. Chika apparently doesn't like loud noises, so she's not covering her ears, she's covering her belly button. Because apparently, I guess lightning will strike her belly button or something. I forget exactly how she put it, but it eventually came out to lightning's going to strike her belly button. But she couldn't cover her ears because of it, because she had to cover her belly button, so she had Kaguya cover her ears. And then she overhears that the president, actually let me look up his name while I'm here. There we go. Here we go. Shirogane, or Miyuki, whichever one. Miyuki, we'll go with that. It's shorter. Overhears that Miyuki does not have a ride. He was going to take the train, but apparently they're down because of the storm. So he can't do anything without getting wet. So Kaguya is thinking to herself, I should try to get him to ask me for a ride, because she's getting a ride home. So she figures she can give him a ride to his house. I guess it's on the way. But because it would seem too much like a date, she couldn't just come out and ask him. She had to get him to ask her for a ride. She tried everything she could. She made his battery die so that he couldn't check his phone to see that the trains were back up and running. She was basically filling his head with the comments that she was making about how, he could probably pay for a taxi, but that would cost about 5,000 yen, approximately $50, depending on the yen rate. Or he could just ask somebody for a ride, and for somebody who is kind of a cheapskate, that should be an easy decision. But it wasn't, because he decided to just get on his bike and drive all the way home, ride all the way home. At this point, Kaguya is out in front of the school waiting on him, hoping that he will come and just ask her for a ride, although after he drove past her, he drenched her in water and she lost her umbrella. And she actually says that she got him a taxi. Like, she had ordered him a taxi. But because she was getting soaked, she got sick. Now, she sent him, Miyuki, a text saying that she was sick and she wouldn't be coming in. So Chika says that, one of them... No, he says that one of them has to go to her place to drop off, like, the homework packet and stuff like that. And Chika saying that she'll go because she has been to her house once before when she was sick, and she is super cute when she's sick. Super defenseless. She says you can give her a bear hug and she's not going to complain. Getting Miyuki to think of all kinds of lewd things. But she suggests that maybe all of them should go. Ishigami disagrees with this and says that having all these people barge into her house when she's sick is probably not a good idea, so they should probably only have one person go. And she says, okay, well, let's play a game of concentration. Basically, it's the game where you have all the cards on the table and you have to try to match the pairs. So, like the king with the king, 9 with a 9. But they're, again, scattered around. You have to memorize where they are and pick them up so that you can get points. Chika thought it was a good idea to try to cheat. Now, she did make some rules before this, stating that if you are caught cheating, it's minus 5 points. You're not disqualified, you just lose 5 points. So, when she got the cards down on the table, Miyuki was like, I have issues with this. For one, you chose a game, a memory game. Like, I figured you'd choose something that you were good at. Two, you kind of breezed by this rule about if we're caught cheating, then it's only minus 5 points instead of an instant disqualification. And three, the designs on the back of these cards look a lot like numbers. Because it was a fixed deck. The back of the cards had the number on it. It is just kind of worked into the design to make it look less conspicuous. However, it's still pretty obvious that it's telling you what number is on that card. This kind of sets Ishigami off. Asking how she could be so shameful, and she got caught trying to pull off her own scheme, and then he just starts repeating the word shame. Shame, 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 shame. And then she's like, okay, well, she gets out another deck, and they start playing. Ishigami and Miyuki are tied while Chika's down by 2 points. And then she goes, okay, we're halfway through. I'm going to mix it up a bit. And she mixes up the cards. And now Miyuki can't remember where any of the cards are at, and he's losing. By the time it gets close to the end of the game, he's down by 8 points. And then he realizes what's going on. Because Chika picked up a card and it was the wrong one, so she moves it to a certain corner of where all the cards are at. And he kind of picks up on something. He picks up his card, which ended up being a king. And the one Chika just put down, I believe, was a king. So he picks that up, gets his points, and then he's like, okay, I know what's going on. And then he wins. Well, he and Chika tie, but because Chika has minus 5 points from cheating earlier, he ends up winning. And then he explains what was going on. Apparently, Chika was moving the cards around to match the face of a clock and using a card in the center to act as like a pointer so that she would know what was what. Pretty ingenious, if you ask me. I wouldn't have thought of that. Again, setting Ishigami off about her being shameful. And then she goes home. She pulls an Ishigami. I feel like dying, so I'm going to go home. But now Miyuki's worried because now he's the one that has to go to the house and give Kaguya the stuff, which he pretty much decided he was the one that had to go, since Ishigami mentioned that she had gotten soaked the day before, and he realized I was the one that did it, because he remembered seeing shadows of people on the side when he drove by on his bike, so he realized I was the one that got her sick, so I have to be the one to go, and that's when he pulled off that miracle win. Now, Kaguya, when she is sick, according to Chika, is just like a baby. And she is very childlike when she is sick. But he goes there, bringing the packets and, to spend some time with her. At first, he was just going to give them to the girl, her servant, maid, whatever you want to call her. And she's like thinking to herself, come on, don't chicken out now. You've already come this far. And starts pushing him into the house. Takes him to her room. And he sees her for the first time sick, where she's on the ground looking through her stuff for fireworks. And the servant takes her to her bed and puts her back in there, and then he's asking what's wrong with her, and she gives this explanation about the id and the ego, and how when she's sick she kind of loses all of her ego senses, and it's mostly id, making her kind of a simpleton. And then she's all, well, I got other duties to take care of. I can tell you that nobody is going to be in this room for at least 3 hours. So you two will be all by selves, but don't do anything inappropriate. And he's like, I won't. I would also like to add that this room is soundproof. So... Oh, and Kaguya will not remember anything that has happened in this room while she is in this state. So nobody's going to know a thing. But don't do anything inappropriate. Basically telling him, she's not going to remember anything. You can pretty much do whatever you want. I'ma go. Obviously, he didn't do nothing. She even dragged him into the bed. And he just fell asleep. Holding himself back. He even mentioned how hard it was for him to hold himself back, but he did it. And when Kaguya woke up, she hits him in the face and pushes him out of the bed, wondering how he could take advantage of her when she was in that state, and she doesn't remember anything about him coming. And he's like, look, you dragged me in there. And she's like, I wouldn't do that. And then kicks him out. The servant maid is like, I kind of figured something like this would happen. I think she thought that they were going to, even though that didn't happen at all. And Kaguya, after he runs off, is like, how far did I go? And she's like, I couldn't say. And then he's running off, going on about how he held back and he didn't do nothing and this and that. And then they show the servant maid, whatever you want to call her, with a magnifying glass looking at the sheets, and she's like, oh, I guess nothing happened. Yeah, he didn't do anything. Yep. I don't know if she's still going to be mad at him or not. Maybe a little? We'll see in this episode, I think. But I could be wrong. Most of them usually don't continue after the last episode. But again, we'll see. Anyway. Alright, so the video is going to be located over here. And the link to the reaction is going to be in the description down below. Turn that. Yeah, there we go. And we're going to start this episode in 3, 2, 1.